All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to today's Tackle Talk out here in the garage. I hope you guys can see me in here with the crusty lighting. I really just don't want to get up and turn the shop lights on up there. So, with that said, I want to get into today's Tackle Talk, and that is to discuss your finesse style worms. 4, 6, 8, just depending on where you guys are in the country, just your standard style finesse worms. Now, when most people think of this style of worm, they associate it with really just a shaky head or a ball head, something that a lot of guys do in the Ozarks. But this has a ton of other rigging methods that are highly underutilized by most anglers. So, with that said, in today's Tackle Talk, I'm going to show you 2 traditional ways to rig it up and 2 non-traditional ways to rig this bait up. So, first being your Wacky Rig. Now, this is a standard rigging method, but not a lot of guys throw this bait on a standard Wacky Rig, and it's probably because the bait falls extremely slow compared to your salt impregnated stick baits that have a lot more density and plastic. However, if you're on a really good Wacky Rig bite, you can 100% go behind guys and pick up some extra fish with a little bit slimmer profile, like a finesse worm that falls really slow. So just something different that you definitely should give a shot if you're not already doing it. The second traditional method I want to give you guys is just your standard Texas rig. Now, I know that it's not much different than your shaky head. However, the weight will separate from your worm here. So you'll get a gliding motion or a slow fall out of your plastic. But the main reason that I throw this worm on a Texas rig is because I can beef up my line size. I can beef up my hook, my weight. Just throw this bait where most guys won't throw a shaky head. Up shallow around your gnarly cover, your docks. I'll throw this into the middle of a brush pile on 16 to 20 pound tests, and I know I'm going to get this bait back or just the fish out if I hook a big one. Most guys aren't going to throw a shaky head into a brush pile on 10-pound test because they're probably not going to get a 4-pounder out of it. But with that said, that is the second way that the second traditional way to rig this bait. Now, getting into the good stuff, the stuff you guys came here to see. Now, I'm not 100% sure on what this rig is called. I've seen it done before, and that being a split shot rig with this worm. Now, what I mean by that is it's almost like a mini Carolina rig in a sense. Now, you take your split shot or your little drop shot weight, which I got here, like 1/8 of an ounce, and then have a little bit of length going to just a Texas rig weightless worm, a finesse worm. Now, you can fish this in ultra shallow water like a Carolina rig, but just get a little bit more action out of your worm because everything's lighter. So a great non-traditional method that guys aren't really throwing is a split shot rig, I believe it's called, but you guys get it. Just a mini little baby Carolina rig. So a fantastic non-traditional rigging method. Now, this last one is something I really didn't want to show anybody. I've only talked to a handful of people about it, but I'm going to spill you guys the beans, and this is something that I have come up with myself. I don't know if anybody else does this, and that is to make a finesse worm swim to the bottom. Super effective in clear, deep water, and I'll show you guys how I do that utilizing a drop shot weight and a drop shot hook. So, what you want to do is you want to get a very light drop shot weight. If you have too heavy of a drop shot weight, you'll overpower your worm and it won't swim like an eel to the bottom. So you get 1/8 of an ounce, maybe a little heavier than that, but not much. And what you want to do is take your finesse worm at the head and kind of determine where you would snap your line into on the drop shot weight is going to come out, and pinch at the bottom of that weight to mark where you're going to insert it. Now, you want to bend your worm 90 degrees with the flat side being the side that you're going to insert the drop shot weight into. So you want to bend this 90 degrees, stick the drop shot weight in to the plastic. You guys will see what I'm talking about here. Slide it up in there. And you want to leave the weight exposed a little bit. Now you'll notice I have that top of the drop shot, that little line tie on the drop shot weight sticking out the tip of the nose, but on the top side of the worm. So reason for that is I want this worm to have an odd angle in the head. If you see, I'm holding the drop shot weight where it would normally be completely straight. It's got that weird angle right here that kind of jets out to the side. So the reason for that angle is to catch water as the bait is going down. Now, you take your drop shot hook and you rig it through your line tie of your drop shot here. So just like that is what you're going to have. I know that looks super, super odd, but the reasoning for it is because the weight is going to fall head first like this, and it's going to shimmy the head like that on the way down because this is flat, and it's going to create resistance in the water. So with it creating that resistance, this head shimmies, and when the head shimmies, the tail follows. So it literally looks like an eel swimming to the bottom of the lake. It's a very, very interesting technique that I've done over the years and caught a lot of fish on it. I mean, it looks like a leech, a lamprey, an eel, something weird that these fish have never seen before. I don't know of any other bait that gives this that style of action. So you really got to go out and play with that angle, though, that drop shot weight is sticking out of that worm at to get the right head angle. That is everything with this technique, is the head angle. So with that said, if you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments. If you think there's anything that I missed, let me know. If you guys like this content, like the video, subscribe, tell your buddies, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.